Breaking tonight, the White House just released a statement saying Turkey will soon invade northern Syria. The White House added that U.S. forces will be pulled from the area and will not be involved in that operation. The statement casting doubt on the fate of Kurdish forces who worked with the U.S. to fight off ISIS. Those forces are considered terrorists by the Turkish government.
And now to a major policy shift. The White House now says that Turkey will soon move forward with its long-planned military operation into northern Syria.
The U.S. will not be involved and is now pulling out troops from the area where they have been deployed and supporting Kurdish-led forces. The move came after a phone call between President Trump and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Sunday. Senior U.S. officials have been trying to dissuade Turkey from carrying out the operation.
The White House did not specify in its statement if this move now constitutes a full withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria, but Turkey will now be responsible for all of the captured ISIS fighters who are currently being held by Kurdish forces in northern Syria. Let's go live to the region. CNN senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann is on the story, live in Beirut, Lebanon. And Ben, this essentially means that Turkey will take on an area of responsibility. The question here, how far into Syria that zone reaches, will have significant implications.
Indeed, this is quite a shocking development. The Turks have made it clear they want this so-called safe zone along the almost 450-kilometer border between Syria and Turkey to be 30 kilometers inside Syria, which is basically would encompass a variety of large towns and cities that are currently under the control of the Syrian Democratic Forces. Those are the forces that the United States was closely aligned with in the war against ISIS. And the Syrian Democratic Forces are clearly very unhappy with this move. They put out a statement this morning, just a little while ago, saying that the United States is not abiding by its commitment with the SDF, keeping in mind that in the beginning of September, the Americans and Turkish forces began to patrol a smaller part of that border and not well within it. So certainly this does represent something of a betrayal by the United States of one of its most important allies in the war against ISIS. And it brings into question, what are Turkey's intentions? We have heard from the Turks that they want to settle as many as 2 million Syrian refugees currently in Turkey within this part of Syria. But we need to keep in mind, this is not where those Syrians come from. These are Sunni Muslims from western Syria being resettled potentially in a part of Syria that is largely Kurdish. So this has serious implications that could certainly destabilize a part of Syria that has been relatively stable now for several years. George?
Well, Ben, and that does raise the question, what will happen with the Kurds? We'll, of course, have to continue with this story, and we'll stay in touch with you for developments. Ben Wiedemann live. Ben, thank you.